I didn't take my victory lap around ImAllexx when he was exposed the first time around, because, yeah, you want to get his side first. Now that his response is out, let's do the retrospective to really know how badly all this stuff really comes across in the very end of things. So let's get started on the hot wet soup and see where I want to go from there. Let's start with his harping on best friend. I was going to do the sociopathic sort of friend search, but let's do this instead. How does best friends come up in this? And then we'll jump on to the sociopathic angle and a whole bunch of stuff out there.
Into this.
Yeah, we're laughing because we're nervous.
I know.
I mean, this is like the hardest thing we'll ever make, honestly. We're never going to make a video on our channels exposing anyone that's going to be tougher than this, because we know this guy and he's close to us, and it's like...
And I have a very strong, disapproval of people who bring personal situations.
You gotta love also the people also on Hot Wet Soup. This isn't the first time I brought them up. They interviewed Mama Max a long time ago where I got a special. I sucked my own dick and them raging out about that. Classic moment from Hot Wet Soup and Mama Max there. But yeah, Elvis the Alien, there was something about his interest, like many others, with Shadman, where he went silent on and sort of ducked out and didn't say anything about. Bionic Pig, I don't know if anything really came out about him. He was probably too boring to start with.
Situations into light, into public. I hate that, which is a giant testament to fucked. By the way,
right. So
if any of you don't know Mr. ImAllexx from YouTube, he is here, and the reasoning is because we wanted to get 3 of Zaptai's best friends in this podcast. And the past 4 months, 5 months even, ImAllexx has been talking to
such best friends. Past 4 months, 5 months has been talking to her. Maybe that's the problem.
2 months solid, every single day, anywhere between 2, 3, 4 hours to 12. We have been what I would call the best friends. You've probably seen the interactions on Twitter. Ed's got one of my fucking shirts. I saw him. I see him as a best friend. I would love to see him as a best friend. But what has gone down recently is
at a point in time, I'm pretty sure all of us has seen him as a best friend.
And it's funny because I feel like Alex,
BBF, best friends forever. Let's get this sort of going. And where does the sociopath come?
For the last few months has been going for, well, really for the last year, a lot of fucking shit. A lot of issues, and I was there for him. It's one of the reasons why I became best friends, because I knew about stuff that was going on in his life when he didn't know that I knew, and I hinted at it, and that's how we became good friends. I wanted to help him, and
seems like a very weird start to best friend status.
And it's kind of sad, but I feel like this is one of the best ways to help him in a really fucking weird way, because this is awful to do. But Ed told me about 4 or 5 days ago now that he was a diagnosed sociopath.
Better than a self-diagnosed what is it called, borderline personality disorder, which is going to come up, and if you know anything about what's currently going on, might make a little bit of sense. Mental diagnoses. Why do you need all these particular things for your expose? There's enough without bringing up this extra element into things.
That's what it told me. Now, obviously, if you don't know what a sociopath is, the basics are he just can't feel human.
You're talking clinically. Okay.
Emotion. Now, obviously, this wouldn't be an issue if he hadn't have done.
If you have
a lot of things that a lot of us kept really fucking quiet because he's our friend and we wanted to protect him and we wanted to help him. We wanted to sort a lot of stuff out. But due to the fact that he could be super dangerous and he has done things in the past which are unforgivable, really. They're bad. And as a best friend, I want you guys to know, this really fucking hurts for all of us.
Best friend.
We're not making this so people would get pissed off at him. We're not making this so people will attack.
course not. Of course not. You got to expose your friend. Expose everyone. Back when I was mocking commentary, that was one of my fucking videos. Expose everyone in the world. That seems like the thing that everyone was doing.
What we want, because it's really it's a bad situation, not just for him,
And
because he's a sociopath. He didn't choose to be this, but he still has done things. If he hadn't done anything, it wouldn't be as big as a problem.
And that's the point, is like he might be a sociopath, he might not be able to feel empathy, he might not be able to like care, but he knows what's right and wrong, and he's done a lot of wrongs.
Yes, and he can tell, and he knows, and I feel like it's due to the fact that he has managed to get away with it constantly, and we will go into reasons why throughout
by the way,
podcast.
We have told him that we're doing this. It's not like I'm pretty sure he's aware.
Well, God. Not going to go through this whole fucking hour-long podcast. Just highlighting some of the language
what we want, because it's really it's a bad situation, not just for him, because he's a sociopath. He didn't choose to be this, but he still has done things.
No, that's a repeat. Sorry. Sociopath.
And he told me he was a sociopath. Like, this is what he told me. We were in a call, and he said he was a sociopath and a pathological liar.
Maybe he's just a pathological liar. He admits to being a pathological liar, and you're going to believe automatically the sociopath part of it. Interesting. And why bring it up? Do you know much about sociopaths? I remember discourse was high on this. Okay.
Is he telling me he was a sociopath? Jimmy messaged him on the day because I was in call with him. Didn't even realize that Ed had been cheating on multiple people for the longest time, which is one of the issues that we have, is that he's been cheating on multiple girls. I think it's 4 specifically. It's obviously the one who you may have seen if you've been following Twitter posts. You would know. Did publicly tweet that Ed had cheated on her and she was done, and she regretted it. And honestly, like, she just needs your support more than anybody, more than us, really, because what happened with her is the worst, and that is the main reason I take this super seriously. If it wasn't for that situation,
remember, believe all women. I think this was pretty bad at the time. One of the girls was underage, also, I believe. Okay, she might have even been younger than Zaptai, or Ed, as they're calling him. Just highlighting sociopath. Why bring this up so much? Why? How does this really factor into what is really doing it? I have my theories about that. Not going to waste my time too much with going too far down this particular angle here. The Hot Wet Soup is off their official channel for some reason. The podcast was removed as a result of Hot Wet Soup returning. I've simply re-uploaded this for archive purposes. I like archive purposes, so we can go with that. And I think I might have ordered this a little bit out. No, actually I didn't. This is actually a good ordering that I put on, because got a little bit of a shorter thing that I commented on. Just take a look. All the times this word comes up, and why is it relevant? I can only speculate, but let's see. Actual commentator that I respected at the time shortly bring this up, along with my comment at the time.
Why, yes, I did make this intro. Thank you for noticing. It sucks. Fuck you.
It does, man.
So I'm sure the majority of you have heard by now about the end of the podcast, Hot Wet Soup, with the final episode being an outing of the well-respected figure in the commentary community, Zaptai. Now, personally, I have mixed feelings about the video. I don't think that it was toned correctly, the information was poorly relayed, and the core of the message was danced around with how they felt about the situation instead of what the audience really needed to know. That's why I think the video is getting the response that it is. Well, that mixed with a few of the tweets that came out after the fact, which we'll get into a bit later. So first, let me say that I don't know.
Yes, get into it later, that random shark. I miss the man. He might have been a bit of a meme, but some insight for a guy who's willing to dress up in a shirt outfit for his little gimmick.
Oh, anything about sociopathy aside from the definition that I just looked up. A sociopath is a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself.
And I doubt Zaptai, or should I say ImAllexx, or Zaptai, all of them knows nothing about it, but they keep on harping, at least ImAllexx. Probably's the one who harped on that, given his recent response. Repetition is the way of the world. You want someone to believe something, keep on repeating it in interesting ways, which ImAllexx can't typically do.
And extreme antisocial attitudes and behaviors and a lack of conscience. However, even though that seems to be where the emphasis is for most people, I don't think labeling him as a sociopath really matters. I think the term is more being used as a reasoning for the things that he does or did. In my eyes, it bears little relevance as to what the actual...
Yep. The self-diagnoses. Didn't Bo Blacks end up using that as a sort of defense? A lot of people, suddenly they get caught doing bad things. They go with the sort of mental diagnoses. We don't even know for sure. He told ImAllexx he's self-diagnosis. He's also pathological liar. Which one trumps which? Don't know, don't care. Having a little bit of fun in this retrospective here.
Meat of the podcast was about. It's just a term that gives context as to how he could have done some of the things that he's done. And I feel like people are having a hard time getting past whether or not he's a sociopath or not. Personally, I don't care. Next, let's go ahead and determine why this podcast was...
Yeah, shouldn't it fucking matter? It's a way too big of a focus.
made. I know a lot of videos that I've seen have been suggesting that it might just be a publicity stunt for Bionic Pig, Elvis, and ImAllexx, but I think that's a pretty stupid conclusion. For one thing, this video is not monetized. They're getting no money off the situation, and even if they were, Zaptai apparently has the reins to the finances, so it's...
Yeah, they're trying to get ahead of it, okay? Trying to have an excuse. We were trying to help him with his mental health. So we're not the bad guys for letting all this bad stuff going on. How bad was it even? I'm not going to comment on that. Hell, that's still a point of contention between like Nicholas Diorio and Technicals. So yeah,
it's pretty illogical. As for being a plea for exposure, it just doesn't really seem to line up unless they're just getting extremely greedy out of nowhere. Bionic Pig is probably the most debatable since he's the smallest channel, but he's been growing a lot over the past few weeks. He said on January 4th, 40K by February, and...
Yeah, why does this actually matter?
Not in my mind. Some other people might be saying that they wanted to ruin... They were all on Zaptai's good side as far as I can tell, plus Zaptai has less subscribers than two of them, and I just don't really see much of a reasoning to it personally. I don't really see the benefit. So disregarding those two opinions, let's dig into what I think.
Running cover. Again, they use the mental diagnoses that throw him under the bus. Because he was cheating on so many girls, and it came out more stuff.
They were trying to convey with the podcast and why they did it so poorly. So pretty much the first thing that they did was label Zaptai as a sociopath.
Ed told me about 4 or 5 days ago now that he was a diagnosed sociopath.
Now, I'm not going to argue whether or not he's a sociopath, as I stated, but I am going to give a little bit more context to it. This was not ImAllexx saying that Zaptai is for 100% fact a sociopath. This was ImAllexx saying that Zaptai told him that he was a sociopath and how that definition fits in well with the various things that Zaptai has done, in his opinion. Now, like I said, people get stuck on the labeling. It was kind of a stupid starting point for the podcast, in my opinion, and it did really seem like they were trying to push that label, but this is third-hand information at this point from what I can tell. After Zaptai...
Yep, this is why I like this guy. A lot of people got stuck on this. They got criticism, especially since they have no mental health sort of background. So just stupid kids doing commentary. So why get into the sort of mental antics there? Excuses.
Decided it would be good for him to go see a therapist.
And he goes, all right, I feel like I should tell you, I went to my therapist, and 2 weeks ago, she diagnosed me as a sociopath.
He went to the therapist and they diagnosed him with sociopathy, allegedly. But the point is, the term is kind of baseless. It doesn't really mean anything on its own. It's just a justification as to how or why he could have done some of the things that he did. But the next point is one that I think a lot of people overlook.
Friends of mine had managed to guess off of situations that we had managed to keep quiet.
Now, I think this is the biggest reason that they actually decided to make this video. They were attempting to make this video to cushion the blow for their friend. As ImAllexx says, people he knew were already being able to guess of some of Zaptai's wrongdoings, and if the right...
And as I brought up in the beginning, they sort of, had a lot of shit within there. had to have a sort of excuse there. She know multiple people. This is the more bigger thing. It's become one of the girls was underage. Yeah, shit, that is more important. Even with this particular thing, why the fuck is it your business? Yeah.
Now, this point is interesting, as
different
I
time.
expected it to have much more of a backlash for Zaptai, but it seems like the majority of people are like, fuck those e-girls. And to an extent, I get
Tommy C. When I was single, I cheated on girls. Shitty thing to do, but they didn't get straight jackets out from there. Love
but
Tommy
they
C.
kind of
song.
dance around why it's a
Sometimes. Why is he so boring and off the wall other times? Who the fuck knows? He's a man of many things.
important. They hint at it here.
Also, all these people know him from his YouTube channel, which is also important because as YouTubers, he is coming from a position of severe power, and these girls looked up to him.
But it's important because of his position.
Severe power. What about you, who got over 1 million subscribers? But you were yeah, I'm leading the horse. This is context. I'm not really going to get into it a little bit. I'll a little bit at the end. I'll get into it.
It's not important because he's trying to fuck multiple girls. This is a YouTuber preying on younger girls that are fans of him, and thus they are more willing to do things that might be questionable to their judgment, if that makes sense to you. These are girls that are fans of Zaptai, and he's toying around with them, telling them what they want to hear. The girls are blinded by his YouTube fame, and that's where the issue comes in, I think. Or at least I think that's what they were trying to convey with this. But they kind of just glaze over it, so it's hard to tell what kind of relationship Zaptai and most of these girls truly had, so I can understand the skepticism. This point also plays into this point.
One hand texting Sabrina, he's like, well, she's not going to kill herself, so that's okay. I'm looking at him like, how can you have this reaction? Like, how can you?
This is important because it shows Zaptai as being detached from the situation in which he should have really cared. He supposedly had feelings for this girl, they had been dating, and here she is about to commit suicide, and he's extremely detached from the actual situation, and that pushes Alex into believing him when he says that he's a sociopath. Another thing that I want to take note of is Alex's telling of the situation absolutely sucks. It's extremely confusing and muddled. I thought the first time I listened to it that Zaptai was playing golf with this girl who was about to commit.
Seems familiar. Also, probably is a symptom it's bullshit. Or he's trying to tell a story or hyping something up. That's generally how things particularly get apart.
We're all playing golf with your friends. Me, Ed, and
If it would be a girlfriend, is relatively important because it could make Zaptai's cheating more than just be on e-girls if he actually knew one of the girls in real life. But since they bleeped out the name, all these girls just seem like they're online fans he's manipulating. The final thing they talked about was Zaptai's manipulation and deception. This is where the trio spent the majority of the discussion, and that's the base of the problem with the podcast. But for a quick summary of some of the given examples would be Zaptai saying something to someone and then telling someone else something different, or using people who thought that they were his friends in order to get bigger on YouTube. Now, the issue with this is it's extremely difficult to say for 100% certainty that he wasn't just trying to network with these people as many YouTubers are akin to doing. And the proof given is he ignored Bionic Pig after presumably they were becoming best friends, talked behind Elvis's back to gain some favor in the community, and became good friends with ImAllexx since he was having significant growth. None of these instances at their core say that Zaptai is a sociopath. They can be explained away very easily. Bionic Pig said something to Zaptai that made him mad, or maybe Zaptai was just busy or something. Maybe Zaptai genuinely didn't like Elvis's video. Maybe Zaptai just got to be friends with Alex at a convenient time. It's hard to outright say that these things happen.
Or maybe everything is just old bullshit. I'm just throwing it out there.
Because Zaptai
I think this is rather good faith of interpretation, which is why you'll probably see the comment below.
is a sociopath. But unfortunately, that's where the bulk of the podcast was spent, on how they couldn't really trust Zaptai because these things happened, and they make him seem like a dick. Plus, this isn't a point that's going to affect many people. The only people that it's going to affect are the people who are wanting to become friends with Zaptai, and Zaptai would see them as beneficial to him. So basically, a bigger content creator. This point isn't going to affect people who are just viewers of his content, and it's hard to really make them relate. Now that we've gotten what I consider to be the major...
iDubbbz and I hate everything. But yeah, podcast fails to paint Zaptai in a very malicious and make the audience understand why majority of the podcast is spent on describing everything sounding like this. Super dangerous and done things in the past, blah, blah, blah. Unforgivable.
The evidence given just makes him seem like a bit of a dick. He cheated on girls, which is a very dick thing to do, but it's hard to say that he's a sociopath for it. He manipulated...
Yep, hype it up, repeat it, make sure the audience knows this guy's a sociopath. So we're perfectly excused, even if you're a fan. Come fans of us, we're much better. Zaptai had some talent. He might have been a sociopath, might have been just a pathological liar. I don't know. He's gone now, been for many, many years. except for his one interview with Nicholas Diorio.
And use them under the guise of being their friend. Again, a dick thing to do, but the proof given is not damning enough to paint him as a sociopath. The worst thing I think he did was act attached when the girl was attempting suicide, and that is worrying. But this is a recount from ImAllexx, and it wasn't even the focus of what they mainly talked about. It was just kind of a talking point that they didn't really...
Yep, such a reliable narrator. Throwing him under the bus for fun's sake. I'm sure I was more invested in this than at the time, but this was 8 years ago, and...
even worse light than this video did. But they really didn't elaborate on anything very well, so it's a difficult sell, and that's why I think they're getting the backlash that they are. But that's not all, because ImAllexx decided to tweet things like this after the fact, displaying some of the most hypocritical...
If you make a video on Ed, consider yourself done on this website. Okay, they settled the matter. Okay, they're gonna destroy him. ImAllexx, such a great guy.
Talking shit on other YouTubers, the majority of whom have done less than Zaptai has if everything you've said is to be taken at face value. Go fuck yourself. Number one, you brought this to the public, so you have absolutely no ground to stand on. Number two, you're not the fucking high council of YouTube. You don't decide what people talk about and what people don't. So don't even start with this bullshit.
Yep. I almost wish I could splice this video in with ImAllexx's response. There's a certain section, you can watch it for yourself. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I vividly remember when they were having this sort of gas lines. Oh, sorry, it was the cheating section. It was the cheating section. I'm like, why the fuck? What? Like, why the fuck? Why is this section called cheating? There's no examples of cheating in here. This whole section here, I think, is where it really gets into it. And he just keeps on repeating and repeating.
Just because he's your friend, it doesn't give him or you a double standard to negate any kind of criticism. Anyways, that's the video, guys. Like it, don't like it, let me know. I made this video because this situation is interesting, and also, I want to spite anyone that said you shouldn't make a video about it because they're hypocrites. Even if...
Booyah! Okay, probably some outro stuff, good stuff. If he was still around, I would say subscribe to him, but nope. But back 8 years ago, you think that they were trying to cushion the blow from any alleged drama coming his way? Maybe that is the case for Elvis and Bionic Pig. But I have my doubts about ImAllexx. In my opinion, he wanted the drama. For what reason? That is unclear, but it's clear he wanted into the drama game, either due to the views or team bullshit reasoning. The reason I believe this is his exploitation of the word sociopath and him weighing in on the whole Vex exposed Trap Nation issue with his friend. Apparently this was something I saw come up and I don't remember now. P.S. I thought it was funny seeing Sino, now JoJo's ASMR, also friends with Mama Max, coincidentally enough, with the podcast, Quiet Place for Friends, trying to weigh in on the situation. Random Shark. I mean, he could be. I just don't see why he went from like 14 to 18K in like a month. So I don't see how outing his friend as a sociopath would have helped him on any level. Oh, Sino's tweet? Yeah, I saw that. Haha. Never said he did it to grow. I have a strange feeling he's playing the commentary community. Maybe YouTube in general, like a chess game. Think you're giving him too much credit. Probably. I did say try. Maybe a game more his speed checkers. Blah, blah, blah. Thought I would just bring all that fun stuff up. Thought about making a video, but I don't think this is really video worthy at the end of the day. So going through this, I was wondering how to really process this. Let's just get into ImAllexx's video. Supposedly
7
he's not
years
into
ago, ImAllexx was the
commentary
main contributor.
anymore, but I think he has a talent for this and he's wasting it on whatever pivot he's going to. Lyrics. But yeah, commentary's crazy. I understand him wanting to get out with some of the people who are getting into the scene.
7 years ago, ImAllexx was a main contributor in pushing false allegations on his friend Zaptai, who ended up losing his entire YouTube career over this. 5 years ago, Alex was if not the main contributor in smearing his friend Slazo of rape, whose career would have been done for as well until he released his response vindicating himself entirely, proving his accuser to be a liar. But Alex couldn't accept this and take the L. He doubled down, said he still thinks he is innocent, and wants nothing to do with him. But in 2024, ImAllexx has been accused of abuse by his ex-girlfriend Alice, and now no one wants anything to do with him. He's been dropped by his closest friends that he's collaborated with for years, getting mainstream articles written about him abusing his ex, losing tens of thousands of followers by the day. And it couldn't be happening to a more deserving person. On top of this being the most cathartic case of karma you could ever ask for, because if the allegations levied at him right now were thrown at anyone else, ImAllexx would be the first one lining up at the door to jump on the story and accuse that guy.
Too true. And doubling down like he did many other times
Being
before.
100% guilty. But more importantly, what Alice shows in her accusations proves that ImAllexx is a two-faced fraud who puts on a fake persona and virtue signals all these beliefs that he doesn't actually uphold or believe in, but only says for the sake of his channel and to pander to his audience. He's been doing it for years, getting away with it, but with Alice's most recent allegation, this is it for him. ImAllexx is finished.
Now, what is too
Yep. It's so funny. After 8 years, karma is a bitch. Definitely two guys in the commentary spear back then when I was just a stupid little small fry doing parody videos and making fun of, and not really making fun of, more like weird sort of stuff like YouTube hell before, but not quite as that weird.
too fucking late? You admit you did everything fucking wrong. What if somebody
Okay,
bash
watch this. I'm not.
Maintained a 2 million subscriber channel critiquing other people on their mishaps, mistakes, and behavior. But he's done far worse things than the vast majority of people that he calls out. There's coverage that's been done on him for years, pointing out false allegations he's spread or smearing people, which I mentioned a little bit earlier. But that's already been said and done. In the present, the story starts with Alice setting the foundation, explaining how Alex was toxic to her in her relationship, and shows a lot of unhinged text messages.
Yeah, not that Alice is probably the same person. ImAllexx brought up the fact she said something about her, say, self-diagnosing as borderline personality disorder. But that's self-diagnosis. And like, why isn't she bringing this up? She said this narcissist empath. Just to let you know, borderline personality disorder is something historically that's more likely to be a male. There's other personality disorders that are more likely to be female oriented, like I can't think of them off my hand. I think they start with H, like histrionic. There's a whole bunch of personality disorders that sort of imitate each other, and other sort of mental conditions where you're like, yeah, that's me, and you identify as that when it's not you at the end of the day. So is there anything worth this at the end of the day? Well-made videos, quickly done.
Goes into big fights that
Very
took place on
vicious.
Discord, where he would scream and yell at her.
You're just talking to me, going, now, when it's too fucking late, you admit you did everything fucking wrong. But when it actually matters, when you should lay down like a good fucking dog, you don't fucking do it. You fight for some reason. I don't know why you fight, because you're losing. Is it generally because you're just fucking brain dead?
Yeah, I'm very brain
Well edited with well-placed music. Such a shame he's getting out of the game.
dead, yeah.
Is that why you decided to go on the fucking offensive instead of the maybe? Okay, just do the normal route, but a normal girlfriend.
You're acting like this is all just me, and that's something you really need to fucking fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up. Because this one, genuinely, this one, you fucked this, royally fucked this.
Having a clip that exists of you saying you're going to drive
Yeah,
a brick through
perfect
your
timing.
girlfriend's skull
I was about to
is the
pause
end
it.
game. And he turned on his camera for it.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick.
Oh, that's nice. Whoa! They know they're on TV, don't they? If they're doing that on TV, what are they doing on? Yeah, what are they doing on camera? Probably abuse.
With a brick.
Who's going to listen to you making videos critiquing JoJo Siwa, that Jack Doherty guy, or anyone for their mistakes and problems when this is you?
This is normal. This is what normal people.
Yep. Normal people, beautiful people, going along. Okay. I didn't order this quite as correctly as I really would have wished. Watch that video from Lyrics if you want. I just wanted to get a little bit into it before we get along. Let's actually watch the video that is within a very similar time frame to that. So 8 years ago, this was the video that got over his first video that got 1 million views. Coincidentally, it happened like a few days before that Hot Wet Soup, the End podcast came out. And look, it's his second Onision. I remember everyone. Hell, I even have a little YouTube shitter video in my alphabets of YouTube commentary about Onision, and that was just a little shit video. But this, I guess, is more of a serious one. Dear Onision, exposed for abusing an ex. First $1 million view video from ImAllexx. A strange time frame with this sociopath thing being connected to it. I wonder if they're related in some weird way. Sociopath, let's see how many times it comes to hell. Why am I doing this with this? This is a retarded beginning, guys. And yeah, comparing yourself with that. Let's come down here real quick. Let's see if sociopath gets laden through this, or if there's any sort of keywords here. So maybe it won't come up. Whoa, it doesn't come up at all. It just starts with typing that in. Okay, I am surprised. Let's watch just a bit.
If you smoke weed, you're dead to me.
That's a weird start.
Cool. That landed in the bin.
Elvis the alien.
Is that a direct quote from Onision? I think it is. But actually, we're talking about again.
Why
Maybe
does it matter?
Again, how many times is this? 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 9. Okay. Yeah, I speak about him a lot. But not just me now. There's been a bit of an escalation. What? And due to the fact that I have pretty much been kind of riding this Onision wave, I've been pushing it. I've been pushing the Onision agenda for quite a while now. I mean, he jokes about fucking kids. And he turns his relationships into a revenue stream. Now, I wish I had a relationship to do that with, but as a lonely person, I am missing out on that sweet, sweet ad revenue. Now, I was sent some text messages.
Maybe you should have stayed that way, dude. Text messages.
What I got sent? I got sent a text message where Gregory says to an ex-girlfriend of his wife's, "It is complicated. It's comedy gold too. You're a liar. So as a liar, then you should chain yourself to our basement wall for a week with a sign around your neck that says that you're sorry for lying." That's ordinary. And I was thinking, okay, I mean, it is convincingly something that sounds like Greg would say, but there's no way this bloke's going to admit this on camera. It's not a World Cup final against Germany. Not quite convinced.
What the hell is this video? Why
did
think
that
get
Onision is abusive and manipulative, no matter what this person has done. Now, the reason this person's a liar, and the reason that Gregory wants to chain her up to the basement for a lump sum of 7 days, perfectly reasonable, may I add, is because of the fact that she smoked a few weeds with her family. Oh, illegal. But apparently, hey, tattoo.
And do you think it was serious? You're not sort of dealing with the severity of this. Is that really what's the reality of the situation? ImAllexx. Okay. I don't know how anyone ever liked this guy's video. I don't even remember what I thought of his videos. I probably didn't watch it. Didn't watch a lot of commentary, but there was a few people out there like that Random Shock that I did respect back in the day. I always found Leafy to be a little bit confused, and I tried to understand why people liked him. So I was all for the iDubbbz. Like, I'm not understanding the appeal of this guy.
You're mega boring for turning that one down. Not being chained to me. Only see my little pleasure. What do you mean I'm abusive? And this is clearly wrong. She smokes weed. Elvis the alien. This is my message to you. I know you smoke a few weeds. I also know you made a video on Onision. Get in there before me to those trending topics. I want you to be chained to my basement for 7 days at VidCon with a sign around your neck saying,
okay, let's just see.
It gets really weird when you do remember that it is all about weed. She went out to smoke some pot with her family for holidays. And Gregory got a little sad, got a little mad that one of her girlfriends did some drugs, did some weed with a family, came back okay, not arrested. In most states, legal. But Gregory, no, that was a betrayal of his trust. He looked across his business contract. I'm pretty sure it's in here. Sorry, I applied to be Onision's fuck boyfriend, and he gave me this book.
Oh God, this is such dog shit. Why the fuck did anyone like this guy in the first place? Christ's sakes. I can't remember. I can't remember why people supposedly. How did he get 1 million fucking subscribers? How did he get over? How did he get to 2 million before this game? I just won't understand some things. I just don't. So yeah, let's do CB2. He's got a quick little vid about just the little videos out here. Prepare yourself for face.
Okay, listen. So 11 months after the fact, ImAllexx has returned to YouTube to try and salvage his reputation from the allegations levied against him by Alice Hez.
It failed.
A lot of which don't even seem to be allegations necessarily, because we have video proof of it. So let me just remind you of some of that.
Fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick when you should lay down like a good dog. You don't do it.
I'm not trying to do repetition. Okay, repetition is the devil's
He
play.
claimed Alice physically abused him, as well as lied about the claims. My only opinion that I'm going to share as of right now is that it seems like Alice wasn't fully honest prior, at least about her side of the relationship and her involvement, because he alleges a lot of physical altercations and stuff like that initiated by her. However, a lot of the stuff he did do was genuinely really bad.
Yeah, who knows? Who the fuck knows at the end of the day? Okay, he's given a little bit too much.
ImAllexx notification and got whiplash. Can't wait to watch this ImAllexx video. If it's good, he will have lost a year of revenue and gotten what he deserved for past accusations. If it's bad, then he's screwed. Either way, I'm here for it. Ain't nobody got time for nearly 2 hours of ImAllexx to try to defend himself. Nice to see he still looks like a dirty rat, though. Heartbreaking. ImAllexx found alive and well in his room. It was an abusive and toxic relationship on both sides. Neither of them should have their careers destroyed. Both are in the wrong. If you've watched the videos of his abuse and you think his career should be intact, you're crazy. Nah, he's always acted like the holier-than-thou nice guy, when in reality he was a scumbag. I agree, both seem as bad as each other, but only one of them has had their careers destroyed from this. But we'll have to see the fallout from this response video looks like. ImAllexx and Alex.
Weird. Twitter stuff. A good video. None of that Boblox, if he's trans or fucking bipolar, borderline personality or whatever mental thing he did to sort of get out of. I still think people harped on him too much, but I never thought of him very well to start with. It all comes down to the personal thing. Here's the really important part.
Otherwise, she also said, all you've done is try to paint. In fact, call the police, and there is a case that's actively open, despite Alex implying otherwise. She also said,
almost destroyed his entire fucking video with this. Not everything. There was a section about Dinky Jarbo and the sort of Alex McLeod thing that is only fucking really relevant to the people in commentary. And who the fuck knows about how well it really connects to other things in the sort of sphere out there.
Said, all you've done is try to paint me out to be a liar, instead of owning up to what you did and taking accountability, which I'm sure will work in your favor after I post the rest. Not once did I say
accountability sort of sucks. So there's a lot of things out there.
Never reacted or wasn't toxic. Then shows a screenshot from her first statement. Then she shows her first statement again, going over this, saying, and not once do I manipulate him to stay me. I 100% was toxic back after being in a relationship with the abuse I endured from this man for months on end. Should I have left sooner? Yes, but I was scared to. It took him being physical a second time to do so. Now, given all this, I'm genuinely curious where you guys stand on this, because it does seem kind of mixed, right? And it's obviously going to be divisive. So
I say she's probably fucked in the head. Got some mental disorder. Who the fuck cares? He's a much worse, snaky ass motherfucker at the end of the day. And who the fuck cares? Because he has this weird sort of issue where I don't really care about him at the end of the day. Let's use good old Samuel video to sort of go over some of this mess. I've had my criticism of Samuel. He even popped up in this video here. He has his rehash of this at the end of the day. Not going to do the whole thing. Why does Samuel keep on fucking creating all these fucking little channels? This is a different channel that I found this on. I find this funny. Trying to play it. He fucked himself with the YouTube Shorts metric. Same thing with a lot of these younger small commentary people, but let me not harp on that too much.
Emotionally, verbally, and physically abused me, as well as threatened me and blackmailed me constantly throughout our relationship.
There we go. Yeah, I watched Chud Logic go through this. Like, why is he flashing these all on? They're the same exact things. A little bit too long. Chud Logic, good enough. A little bit too long for me to go over here.
Oh, Alex has given you some pointers of what's going to be in his response.
Alice has lied continuously for the last 12 months that I was under a police investigation to friends, ex-girlfriends, and YouTube commentary channels. Alice has continued to make false allegations about me to this day and said that she had pressed charges.
Yeah, when I was still writing a script for this, I'd like, how many times did he say she lied? I'd lost count after 30 times. I'm like, we're 15 minutes into this close to 2-hour video, and he says it 30 times before the 15-minute marker. Lie, lie, lie. Illusionary truth effect. If you say something false enough, people will start believing it. Some people.
The police. Okay, so the first thing I want to say in regards to this specific segment is the fact that Alice has since responded to it. On Twitter, she posted screenshots trying to prove that she reported this to the police. Now, there's mentions of Alex being on a record of some type, and there's a few interpretations you can have of this. Maybe Alice thinks that because she's reported it to the police that ImAllexx is on. She said that she will be responding with this, allegations given to him. It's kind of a confusing way to start an actual response. One thing as well that's very apparent about this response video is, although he's got all what he wants to...
No, it's not confusing. The whole video is confusing, but it's poisoning the fucking well. Surprised he waited until the end to do the janky Darbo thing. And the best thing he got for that is a couple of things implying. Definitely a little crazy thing. How did he think the janky Darbo stuff really helped him out at the end of the day? I'm not even sure on that.
To say down in a document, it's incredibly repetitive. He constantly repeats points, and it's genuinely confusing at times.
A YouTube commentary channel called Samuel said that she had been dealing with the police instead of immediately taking it to social media when he spoke to Alice.
This is why the irony of using this video, even though it's slop, y'all, I thought would be poetic enough to use.
Thought I'd come in to say that I've spoke to Alice, the ex of Alex, and I've also spoke to ImAllexx. Now, Alice is dealing with this with the police as well. Got the police involved. So instead of just immediately taking it to social media and speaking about it, has also got the police involved beforehand. And is dealing with that way. She's going to the police about that, trying to get the situation sorted properly before she speaks about it online.
I also tried to look for this stream because I like to be fairly well informed. It's unlisted. Fuck it. Figured I would do this shit ass video / stream just to quickly get it out instead of waste my time when everyone else is jumping on this.
Fine. Which is definitely a change. Usually people just immediately come online to speak about stuff and air it all out before going to the police.
This is a lie, as Alice had already posted months before she had released the document that I was on Claire's Law in a comment on TikTok in April 2024.
Now, as small as this segment is within ImAllexx's response, I'd like to directly address this here because he's talking about me going on a commentator's live stream to speak about the whole Alice and Alex situation. Now, for context, the clip that Alex shows of me is from a Lyrics stream from before Alice dropped her document on Alex. I was telling Lyrics what Alice had directly told me, that she had gone to the police with the information. And in regards to
this is just funny. Of course, he had to respond to this. He got brought up in the video. A lot of people did. This is how I know. Someone retweeted Cope and Sieve getting mentioned in the video also. Be like, hey, there's one of tweet from us when we covered it. All this other stuff. Very interesting indeed.
From a stream 2 months after Alice had posted videos and comments about me. Samuel says Alice does not want to come out and talk about this until after the police investigation had taken place, which was a lie. This is not how anything is unfolded publicly at all.
Now, this is something that I'd like to address as well. I was one of the first individuals on YouTube to upload a video going over what Alice had said on TikTok, including her comments and video. Within that context of that said situation and the live stream, what I said was clearly a misspeak, as the context had already been given that I had made a video going over the TikTok videos and comments, something that Alex leaves out of this video. With that context in mind, it was very clearly a misspeak, not a lie. I will 100% put my hands up and say that I was going between my opinions and
yeah, taking advantage of misspeaks. I mean, why I think Samuel can get a little bit weird with his particular thing. See my one video on the Himpleton thing if you're curious about that. It's not all about morale. Start off that way. But the ending, yeah, is something where Samuel and his buddy Ace get brought up. And I've still got no clarity on that particular issue there. But at the end of the day, nothing serious. I got no concrete proof of anything. That whole shit show is sort of gone down the rabbit hole.
Not a serious threat. And to put it in your response to your own allegations is kind of bizarre.
Alice changed her Google document multiple times to hide these criticisms and has cropped messages that showed her using the same racial slurs that she had accused me of bringing into our relationship, as it directly contradicted her story. This was unacceptable behavior, and I deeply regret using such horrific language.
Yes, it's a genuine critiquable point to have against Alice. A critique-worthy thing is that she's a hypocrite there. I mean, I don't know why we're addressing the N-word stuff.
Probably not. No clue at the end of the day. I didn't. And a lot of these fucking messages, they don't tell the story Alex claims they do. They really fucking don't. When you really look at this video critically, you're like, okay, he's got a point. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He makes up a lot of shit. And maybe it's true at the end of the day, but maybe it's all bullshit. And he's just sort of paving the way for it.
A few days after we had moved in with each other. There are no texts from this time that even suggest that we were fighting or had been in a fight. And that's because this did not happen. On the 19th of October, Alice asked me to call. And the next text message was Alice asking me to sort out my bike in the garage. Later, that's...
I don't know what this is supposed to prove. This is supposed to prove that they had a fight and they made up. That's it. That's it. Is it weird? And a lot of this stuff, the timeline wise, is just insane. Insane in the membrane.
Alice is a lie. I never did these things Alice has accused me of doing because this never happened.
Okay, so this is one of the first major things that ImAllexx addresses, saying that no, he did not put Alice in a headlock, which he shows a few messages to try and show that, look, she didn't say anything about it at the time, this is just something that didn't happen. Proving something that didn't happen in Alex's words is always going to be a difficult thing. I'd like to see what Alice has to say in response to this, and if Alex has any more proof backing what...
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows how this back and forth is going to do? Headlock. There was a whole little section about the borderline personality disorder, her sending him a TikTok about it and him sort of freaking out about it was hilarious if you watch the video. Not that I blame you if you didn't actually do it. It's a painful thing to go through.
As this many times in her document. Alice provided a list of events that she had written herself directly into her notes app as evidence and has attached them to her document as proof. But Alice was still writing these stories after she had said that she had moved out, which shows that these were written at a later date retroactively.
I don't know why he brings any of this stuff up. This is just like a bunch of nothing. That's most of this video. Attack on her credibility and confusing the situation even more. Keep on quickly flashing the same fucking screenshots. Maybe even Samuel will
start calling me an abuser. I denied this ever happening and explained how it disturbed me that Alice was trying to gaslight me into believing that this had taken place. I had asked Alice not to come back to the house and I would leave her stuff in the garage because I wanted to break up and I didn't want her near me anymore. She'd been assaulting me and threatening me since we had started dating. When Alice had left the house, I finally thought I could escape our relationship and I wouldn't have to see her again. This is when Alice began to start blackmailing me and threatening me because I was asking her to stay away. Alice told me that she was going to come back and that she was on...
Yeah, you could have left the house. You could have left the house, dude. Okay. I don't even know. If you were really that scared, you could have left the house. Go to a domestic woman abuse shelter because you're acting like a fucking woman throughout this. A little bit sexist of me to say, probably, but who the fuck cares at the end of the day? Fucking, that's how he comes off.
Really can't tell a whole lot about the situation. One of the major important things in Alice's document was all the audio clips and the videos that she put in there.
I knew that now, if I tried to leave, Alice would accuse me of physically abusing her, as she had used this to get me to back down from trying to end our relationship in this conversation.
This is something that Alice on Twitter has since responded to. And not once do I manipulate him to stay with me. I 100% was toxic back after being in a relationship with the abuse I endured from this man for months on end. Should I have left sooner? Yes. But I was scared to. It took him being physical a second time to do so.
He knew she could bully me into submission and control me with these accusations and threats. Alice had told me that she had recorded me during my manic episodes and when I reacted to the constant threats and physical attacks in our relationship. Alice would threaten to post these videos when I tried to leave and when we argued.
I think he's trying to attempt to sort of frame with that the videos that everyone else were talking about at the time. Why did it take him 9 months to fucking get to this? Could have had a baby in that time. Could have tried. A lot of people have a lot of theories. Who the fuck knows why it is? But simple fact, 9 months. Someone brought up the fact, what's his name? Slazo. Into the response that Alex doubled down on even after the response. It was sort of like out there at the end of the day.
I felt I had no choice but to stay when Alice threatened me.
I'm assuming these clips and manic episodes are in reference to things like the brick clip, for example. I would like to see more clarification from Alex about all the clips that Alice put in her document and him actually going over these clips and trying to give some context. It's also interesting what route he's gone down.
Good job, Samuel. You caught it. You caught it at the end of the day. And I don't want to spend too long on this. I'm just doing this as a fucking fuck you. I'm Alex. Always thought you were a snake. Yeah, she might be a little bit of a loose cannon. Not sure about what the truth is. You're still a bit of a bitch.
Staying away from her to stop her from assaulting me. I retold the story on messages, and Alice replied saying she didn't just start kicking me randomly for no reason. Alice admits in these messages that she was kicking me.
You can read, I said I didn't kick him, and I pushed him off me, because I didn't want to be near him. He didn't add context onto why. Funny that. He said, I donkey kicked his head and neck. Where's the text of that? Nowhere. I'm 5'2". You think I can do that?
Was having at the time were having a huge effect on me, and Alice was aware of this. Originally, she seemed supportive, but it quickly became something that she would use to hurt me. Alice started by calling me fat in text and in person, and this was because she wanted me to keep my shirt on, because she did not like my illness, and she didn't want to see it or be around it. We were in bed together, and Alice told me when I took my...
Where's any of that found in the text? Okay. It's calling you fat. It's calling you fat. What does that have to do with... Okay, you can do this whole thing. Maybe it's true. Seems like a stretch, and those sort of screenshots don't really prove it. They don't prove much of anything.
My shirt off that if I was going to do that, then she wanted me to sleep downstairs.
I'm interested to see what Alice has to say about this in her response, but I'm assuming it'll probably be somewhere along the lines of...
Yeah, I'm just using this as the sort of way to sort of go over her
kicking me in the back of the head.
I've already shown what Alex has to say about this, but just due to how Alex has laid this video out, it's a bit confusing. But according to Alex, this was the only time he ever defended himself like this. Alex also said there's apparently hundreds of messages that Alice hasn't showed of her admitting to being physical with Alex. These are messages I'd like to see throughout this video and, you know, put on a document somewhere or upload it to Twitter, somewhere where everyone can view them and go through them.
Entered the room, jumped onto the bed and sat on my chest.
This is a case where a document would help out Alex. Him not putting out this evidence in a logical, consistent way makes him look like a lion weasel. And
I began talking to the cat in a silly voice, and Alice was laughing with me. I was jokingly saying I was going to eat him if he got any closer. And it was very apparent that I did not mean this literally, and that I was in fact joking, as we had done together throughout our relationship.
I'm glad he cleared that up, because I think everybody was thinking that Alex just devoured his cat right there and there.
Which I will read for full clarity. Alice admits that I was making jokes in her document, but then says I was being horrible. As having an
yeah, but do you get jokes? Do you get the joke pass? She doesn't, but you do. At the end of the day, I don't even want to go through this shitty ass video here. Mostly a retrospective. And I thought it would be interesting to use this to bounce off of. And let's get back to the lyrics at the end of the day for Look White. Let's see what comes up, because he's such a great content creator. Again,
if you haven't seen, in light of the most recent ImAllexx allegations, basically all of his friends, associates, or YouTubers that are at least public have cut ties. You know, you got Memulus, who he's an original guy who's been collabing with him for years. He was in the E-Boys together, as well as Will Nee. He cut contact entirely, disavowed him publicly. iNabber, who the guy, ImAllexx and iNabber have quite the past together, but you know, they were willing to put all of that aside most recently to do a podcast, despite the many occasions of the most recent one I could think of is in the E-Boys. iNabber came up with the idea for this whole group channel thing, and he ended up getting kicked out and exiled from it because of ImAllexx making the call. And even that was years after the whole Zaptine Slazo situations everybody brings up when they talk about ImAllexx. You know, you got to. When he was one of the main contributors, if not the main one, spreading false accusations against both of his friends that he even lived with. He lived with that guy Slazo, made a bunch of content with, and a couple months later accused them of rape and doubles down when the girl was proven to be a liar. But all these people have cut time.
It's almost like there's a pattern of behavior he has. When it comes back on him, he fucking comes up with a horrible ass response. You disagree with me? Fine. Watch it yourself and tell me that's a good response to any of this shit. At best, it makes Alice look like she's not being totally honest. Let's see how her stream goes. Maybe it's going on right now. Don't care at the end of the day. Not really in it for that, although it does suck if he really was the full-on abuser and just fucked with her in a certain way. I'm not going to put it past. Definitely a fucked up relationship, no matter how you slice it.
He's involved in are more nuanced than current evidence shows. I hate ImAllexx with all my heart and entire being. Whether the most recent allegations are true or false, that motherfucker doesn't deserve to be around. Now, I don't know if there's some past bad blood that he's not saying publicly.
Yep, I don't know what I've been told, but there is a video popped up from Chud Logic that I think I'm gonna end this up on. Don't want it to go too long. A very bite-sized portion here. And you know what? I didn't even add it to the playlist. It's just here on the side. Let's share this instead. And I haven't watched this, and so let's get it a little bit out there.
I completely understand. People are concerned and angry about what was said in Alex's video. And I've created a full document to debunk and explain things on my story with screenshots to prove. Please read this document. As to me, it provides full context.
But how do I make money off depressed?
See, documents make you look a lot more honest than just a video with nothing to back it up at the end of the day.
People have said I should have been there for my friend, and I was until the very moment the document dropped. I spoke to him in calls, messages, and never had any resolve. And then more stuff came, which I had no idea of, and then everything went silent for an entire year. The whole thing is horrible, but I really hope this provides the context you need. Update. I've settled this issue privately and cleared up things. Statements on the doc too. Well, the thing that's like fucking... I don't know the exact time. I still don't understand the exact timeline of when everything happened. Okay?
Yeah, the timeline is fucked.
But Alex has put these guys in a tough spot. Now, what I mean by that is he had these allegations drop and then he just disappeared. He just disappeared and didn't say anything publicly.
Had a
and it's a bit like the Dr. Disrespect situation.
Yep.
In some ways, in the like what you're
hard to really get across. Get into the document, Judd. People can watch Judd sort of cut vib for
between
this.
us. Please do not harass him over something that is incredibly complicated that he should never have been dragged into, as it was not his responsibility. There was a lot of miscommunication, and I was worried about sharing more information for the reasons I've explained in my video. Thank you for understanding, Alex. So I've seen Alex's videos, and obviously I need to clear up things, as there seems to be very confusing lies and misinformation spread on my end. I posted a long Instagram thread about this, but I'll put it all in a timeline here. Friendship aspect with Alex. Clearing up Alex things after seeing his video. With the friendship thing, I do regret my friendship with Alex, as it was extremely toxic. We barely saw each other in 2022, after he made a new set of friends in that year. I think everyone remembers how close I used to be with him in 20...
Oh, friend hopper, okay. I think there was a section in ImAllexx's video about, yeah, Alex tried to get between me and my friends, such as iNabber here, I believe.
2019 time, when we hung out every day. We still spoke, but majority of meetings were walking the dog now and again. 2023 is when our friendship became very close again, after he moved out of London and he fell out with his previous friends.
Yeah. Good laugh insert.
Hey,
there,
level 500. Thank you.
Yeah.
Realistically, I don't think this is my biggest point to clarify on, but yeah, I regret my friendship still.
Wow.
Oh, dude, this is gay. This is extremely gay. Very gay.
True. Gay is fucking stone ass wall.
From one time why I urged the channel caution and care. Okay. I responded to a channel reaching out to me. Oh yeah, I know about the situation. Appreciate you reaching out. Would also appreciate not spreading this DMs, but yeah, I've seen it and I don't really know what's going on. And I don't really know what's going to come from it. Haven't spoken to Alex properly in like 2 months. Scraps ended based on other private, unrelated reasons. Alex is still making content as far as I can see, but yeah, the whole thing is pretty fucked up. I've got no clue what either are planning to do from here. I've been told the whole situation has been an ongoing situation for ages and was kept in the dark until I started seeing Alice's posts. Kind of like how you found out by putting 2 and 2 together. Sadly, I had to do the same thing even as a friend. Right, okay.
Such great friendships out there.
Right, so this is on after the allegation dropped, I guess.
Yep, such great friendships.
As you can see, it was a very confusing time, but I was clearly trying to diffuse the situation. At this point, I had no idea on the true story bar leaked screenshots I had seen. But from this point, it was progressively getting worse and worse. Seeing leaked messages of Alex calling Alice horrible things, and then just more coming out. I contacted Alex multiple times.
Lovely. Probably didn't get anything from the man. At the end of the day, who the hell knows? I'll go through this real quick as I quickly switch to this. Janky Darbo crap here. So I showed this. Why is the section called cheated? I don't understand that. It's very misleading. Follow up when it came to the Janky Darbo stuff. This particular person, I guess, who got Louis McClone to do his video. I don't know how it came up. That was in the last 3 months. Okay. Hey, people. I've seen you all DM me, tag me, etc. Recent news that ImAllexx done a video responding. I appreciate you letting me know. Wanted to hop on here, letting you know all the issue. Taking a break, lame ass way to really go about it. I got my own BTS issues. Is that a mental illness? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? And really trying to figure all of this out. Happens relatively recently, subject to the matter at hand. Was unsure whether or not to make this post, but I didn't want anyone to think I'm neglecting the subject or didn't care. Of course. Image is everything. Nothing else really matters. And I'm also side checking things while I'm doing this. I was unsure whether or not, I went over that. Very much about thoughts. I'm not mentally in the place to cover this at the moment. Please be patient. Please be understanding. And actually, filmed this morning a new video. So watch it soon. How did I think it? Blah, 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 blah. Is there anything else worth bringing up in this chud logic, or maybe I should go through it myself? I don't know. Mostly this was a retrospective attempt from me, and I'm not sure if I want to continue this much longer. Let me see my playlist and what I have at the end of the day. There's a lot of other things in the playlist, but I'm not seeing anything that's really worth going over that you can't watch for yourself at the end of the day. So keeping this bite-sized, have fun with your life. But ImAllexx, no matter if she sort of fucked him over a little bit, he definitely was a fucking shit-ass human being, and I don't say that about a lot of people. Hell, I'm not even going to say that about other people. But I will make this explicit here. You have only so many chances, and it's really clear with him how crappy he is. And as a content creator, I don't think much about him. Personally, I don't know him, of course, but yeah, he seems fake as fuck. That said, I'm done. Peace out. Bye-bye.